Wednesday morning, 133 cardinals will file into the Sistine Chapel to cast their votes for the next leader of the Catholic Church. Pope Francis was laid to rest on April 26th. Since then, the College of Cardinals has been meeting in what is known as general congregations. It's a chance for them to meet each other, to lobby for their picks, and discuss what direction they feel the church needs to go in.
Some of them, they don't really know each other very well. I imagine the cardinal from, Australia might have never met a lot of the other people there. And so they get to know one another a little bit.
Grant Kaplan is a professor of theology at St. Louis University. He says the choice is not as cut and dry as you might think. And once they walk through the doors of the Sistine Chapel, they are cut off from the outside world. This means no technology.
They're trying as much as possible to preserve the integrity of the process.
But that does not keep politicians from lobbying before the conclave.
Mario Cuomo, who had been, a prominent politician in the 80s, I think he was governor of New York, he had tried to influence some of the cardinals by making a pitch for Cardinal Dolan, St. Louis's own Cardinal Dolan, who is Archbishop of New York and Cardinal. And this was just seen as having a very negative effect because Italian politics are not the same as American politics. And someone from the outside lobbying is just like a death knell in a certain sense.
With Cuomo as governor at the time, his wish for the Archbishop of New York's elevation was more about New York than the Vatican. However, that's not the only reason Cardinal Timothy Dolan, or for that matter, any other American, will be elevated to the church's highest office.
The American church, even though America is a large country, it is small in terms of number of Catholics compared to other countries. There are 10 cardinals who have American citizenship who will be voting. So it's not a tiny block, but if you think in general of American influence in the world, to have 10 out of 130 something, it's not a power block.
Kaplan says there's a better chance the next pope could be Italian.
On a numbers game, it would seem like Italians would be favored. That no one over there is really speaking Latin anymore. So Italian is also the language that people communicate in, the common language. And that, I assume, would give Italians a leg up.
Claire Giangrave, a Vatican correspondent for Religion News Service, agrees.
Among the Italian candidates, one has to consider Cardinal Matteo Zuppi. He is not only the head of the Italian bishops and has that weight behind him, but he has also been chosen and tapped personally by Pope Francis to bring his message of peace in Ukraine.
However, with 72% of Catholics non-European or non-North American, the cardinals may go with a choice more representative of the majority.
I have met Cardinal Tagle, who it was the Archbishop of Manila.
He believes Cardinal Tagle might be the best option. Tagle's mother is Chinese-Filipino.
And he is sometimes called the Asian Pope Francis. I would be curious to see whether he'll be considered, in part because Asia is a pretty big part of the world. And the Philippines is a very strong Catholic country, but it's one where there have been some tensions with Muslims in the country.
And keeping the majority is key when so many are leaving the church. In America alone, a Pew Research study shows for every 100 people who join the Catholic Church, 840 leave.
Finding a way to make the church attractive to people, or make the message of Christianity attractive to people who'd never heard it or never been exposed to it before, is one thing. But also people who, for whatever reason, were raised Catholic, but at some point stopped going and never thought of going back.
Should the conclave seek a more conservative pope, Giangrave points to the Archbishop of Budapest.
He is loyal to the tradition of the church, but at the same time, he's been sort of media shy, avoiding controversy while maintaining a very good relationship with Pope Francis and the Vatican.
No matter who is chosen, Kaplan says the next pontiff must be an exceptional communicator.
I would encourage people who are nervous about this just to be patient. And if you are a person of faith, to think that somehow God, and not just these 135 cardinals, also played a role in the selection of the Pope. And so maybe a little bit of humility or wait and see attitude would help.
I'm Craig DeGrelli. For more news told with the unbiased, straight facts, download the Straight Arrow News app today.